if you average out the View hosts, among the dumbest people on television.
Joy, I can't sing a lick, but I certainly, and I have not been asked, but if I were asked, it would be a hard no.
America, America, from sea to shining sea.
Sunny Hostin is in the middle of a firestorm once again, and this time it's a legal bombshell that's exploding across the country. Carrie Underwood just dropped an $800 million defamation lawsuit on The View, and the fallout is nothing short of chaos. This isn't just a small scandal, it's a full-blown courtroom war. The country music star, beloved by millions, is going head-to-head with one of TV's most controversial talk shows, and now the claws are out. The drama began when Carrie announced she'd be performing at Donald Trump's inauguration, a move that instantly triggered backlash from the left-wing media circus, especially from The View. And that's when things got ugly. Instead of respecting her right to perform, Sunny Hostin completely lost it on air. Her words were sharp, accusatory, and laced with outrage. The tone, pure fire and fury. Viewers watched in shock as Sunny launched into a scathing rant about Carrie's patriotism, suggesting her decision was political, reckless, and even damaging to the country. It was like throwing gasoline on an already burning debate. But Carrie didn't bite back with venom. Instead, she let her lawyers do the talking. And what they said shocked America. She wasn't just demanding an apology, she wanted justice with a jaw-dropping price tag of $800 million.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
The lawsuit sent shockwaves through the media. Every outlet scrambled to cover the headline. And that's when Joe Rogan stepped in and scorched the earth with a roast that left no survivors. Rogan didn't waste time playing nice. He went in hard on Sunny Hostin and the show itself. "It's a sensationalist circus," he said, unleashing a brutal takedown that left fans howling with laughter and rage. "They sit there pretending to be journalists," Rogan said, "but it's really just outrage theater." The internet lit up like fireworks on the 4th of July. People couldn't believe what they were hearing. Meanwhile, the clip of Sunny's original rant was going viral, and not in a good way. People were dissecting every word, every glare, every smug moment, and the backlash was swift. Some viewers started calling The View a bully pulpit, where opposing opinions are crushed and guests are ambushed on live TV. And Carrie, she became the face of graceful resistance. "She's just singing a song," one fan tweeted. "Why is that a reason to try and destroy someone's character?" Others chimed in, calling out The View for what they saw as a pattern of aggression. But the most devastating response came from inside the country music world. John Rich, never one to back down, stood with Carrie, praising her for her grace under pressure and blasting the show for stoking division. "Carrie's making you all look like boys," John posted online, throwing shade that lit the entire country scene on fire.
I think art is art, and you know, you have a right to perform where you want to perform. I agree with you, Joy. I can't sing a lick, but I certainly, and I have not been asked, but if I were asked, it would be a hard no.
I think Sonny's dumb. Is certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out.
His post was reposted thousands of times and became a rallying cry for fans who felt Carrie had been wronged. And all the while, Joe Rogan kept pouring gasoline on the blaze. In another segment, he questioned how The View hadn't already collapsed under the weight of its own hypocrisy. They pretend to stand for tolerance and unity, Rogan said. But the second someone steps outside their script, they go for the throat. Fans across the spectrum cheered him on with roars of approval. As the lawsuit gained traction, legal experts chimed in, and what they said stunned viewers. This wasn't just a publicity stunt. Carrie had a real case, and Sonny's on-air comments were now under legal scrutiny. Some insiders even whispered that ABC execs were scrambling behind the scenes, terrified that the lawsuit could lead to a courtroom spectacle and force damaging internal emails to be revealed. Meanwhile, fans flooded social media with side-by-side clips comparing Carrie's calm composure to Sonny's fiery accusations. It became the viral debate of the week. The contrast was undeniable. One meme captured it all perfectly. A serene photo of Carrie singing, paired with a screenshot of Sonny mid-rant, captioned "Grace versus Rage." The internet couldn't get enough, and The View was drowning in backlash. The legal threat looming over The View wasn't just shocking, it was shaking the foundation of daytime television. What started as a fiery opinion turned into a legal storm so big, even longtime staffers were stunned into silence. Behind the scenes, panic had set in. ABC executives were reportedly holding emergency meetings, trying to figure out how to contain the fallout. As the storm raged on, Joe Rogan doubled down in another podcast episode, shaking his head in disbelief as he mocked the show's approach to disagreement.
I saw you on The View.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's been overwhelming my past couple days. So I just went in there, did my thing. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know who Sunny Hostin was. I actually still really don't know. So I wasn't expecting necessarily for her to kind of try to ambush me in that way and attack my character in that way.
Well, it is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
They get so much hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean,
Yeah.
it is a rabies-infested henhouse.
They don't debate, he said. They just pile on like a pack of hyenas the second someone steps out of line. His words hit a nerve across both political and entertainment circles. Critics of The View had long accused it of silencing dissent. But this time, the voice calling it out was too big to ignore. The conversation had changed, and it wasn't in the show's favor. Carrie, meanwhile, remained silent, publicly at least. While her legal team prepared for battle, she focused on what she does best: music, performance, and poise. And somehow, that silence became her loudest statement yet. Her fans turned her into a symbol of quiet strength, flooding comment sections with hearts, flags, and fire emojis, praising her for refusing to stoop to the level of her critics. They didn't just see her as a singer anymore, they saw her as a fighter. And just when it seemed like the drama couldn't get any more intense, Joy Behar decided to jump back in, and she brought the fireworks with her. On a follow-up episode of The View, she went after Carrie again, questioning whether her performance was about unity or something darker. The moment she opened her mouth, the studio audience grew tense. It wasn't just a comment, it was a provocation, and social media caught it instantly. Clips from the episode hit Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok within minutes, and the reactions were explosive. One clip showed Joy gesturing wildly as she said, "How do you love your country and perform for someone trying to destroy it? I don't understand that." Viewers immediately began clapping back online, saying she had no right to question Carrie's love for her country. And through all the noise, Carrie Underwood stayed silent, but unshaken. That silence became a force of its own, and people admired her even more for it. She wasn't chasing headlines. She was building a legacy of dignity under fire.
Go to spa day.
I'm not even going to tell you what I'm doing. What was it? I'm not telling. No, I'm not talking. I'm not telling. No, because it was always in the books. Who knew this was going to be the day that it shows? Because it's also a very interesting day, right? The 21st.
It's Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you can choose to celebrate it how you want. You can honor MLK.
I'm going to honor him and at the
And
spa.
get a spa
At the spa.
treatment.
Well, as long as it's a free country and it holds, I would agree with everybody. It is a free country at the moment.
Well, yeah. You know, but it's up to us to make sure that doesn't start to change.
Yes.
Right.
You know,
Well,
that's...
we're trying.
Well, we're trying, yes. And it's important not to forget that we have that right. It is up to us.
Yeah.
Now, there are other people performing too, and I don't really even want to bring it up.
As for Joe Rogan, he wasn't done yet. He teased a special episode coming up, where he planned to dive even deeper into the lawsuit, the hypocrisy of mainstream talk shows, and what he called the manufactured outrage industry. As pressure mounted, The View's producers were reportedly split behind the scenes. Some insiders claimed ABC wanted to force a scripted apology on air to calm the storm. Others feared that would only make things worse and admit guilt on national television. Sunny Hostin, once so confident in her commentary, began retreating from social media, going completely silent after the backlash erupted. Meanwhile, Joy Behar doubled down, fueling even more fury among viewers who felt the hosts were out of touch and unrepentant. ABC found itself at a crossroads, either defend its talent at the cost of public trust or acknowledge they had crossed a line that could no longer be ignored. Sources close to the network whispered that legal teams were combing through past episodes, terrified this might not be the only lawsuit on the horizon. And then, another twist. Carrie Underwood's legal team released a fiery public statement, accusing The View of defamation, character assassination, and malicious intent, designed to damage her public standing and artistic livelihood. The statement rocked the industry. The $800 million lawsuit wasn't just about one segment. It was about years of unchecked media behavior, according to her attorneys. They laid out a timeline of targeted commentary, selective outrage, and media bullying aimed at entertainers who dare to step outside the approved narrative. The internet exploded again. Hashtags like Stand with Carrie and Sue the View were trending for hours, with fans across the political divide coming together in rare agreement. And just when the flames were at their peak,
One of the things I wanted to talk to you about, I wanted to play this, but we decided we shouldn't play it. We don't want anybody to have any sort of way to get it down. The episode of you when you're on The View, when you were running for president.
Right.
Donald Trump is a billionaire, a real estate mogul, and a television star. But does he really want to add President of the United States to his resume? A lot of people would like him to.
You got introduced as our friend Donald Trump.
Please let's find out, and please welcome my friend, Donald Trump.
That's right.
Whoopi Goldberg gives you a big hug and a kiss. Joy Behar gives you a big hug. Barbara Walters gives you a big hug. They all loved you.
We're so happy to have you. Whenever you're on with us, we're very happy. We love it.
They're talking about you in such a favorable light. The audience was cheering, and then you actually started winning in the polls, and then the machine started working towards you.
Joe Biden knows how to do this. Trump.
Yeah.
He tends to just...
Joe Rogan returned. this time live with a special segment entirely dedicated to Carrie's battle. "This isn't just about Carrie," he said. "It's about the hundreds of other artists, comedians, athletes, and even politicians who get smeared on air for the sake of cheap claps." He played clips, broke down statements, and called out what he described as a decaying media structure that feeds off outrage because it has nothing left to offer but division. Fans watched in stunned silence, and then in roaring agreement. Meanwhile, Joy Behar lashed out once again, dismissing the lawsuit as ridiculous and overblown, further inflaming tensions. Her dismissive tone was clipped and reposted online with the caption, "This is why we're suing." Public figures from across the spectrum began weighing in. Some defended the show's right to critique, while others said freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences. One commentator said, "This isn't journalism, it's reputation warfare." As the debate spilled into mainstream news, Carrie Underwood finally broke her silence. Not with an interview, not with a tweet, but with a live performance. She walked on stage in a simple black gown, thanked the audience with tears in her eyes, and said, "Music brings people together. That's all I've ever wanted to do." The crowd erupted into thunderous applause. That single moment, raw, emotional, and completely free of drama, was shared millions of times, with fans praising her authenticity and strength under pressure. It was the performance that silenced her critics, at least for a moment. But behind the scenes, The View wasn't backing down. Rumors swirled that Sonny and Joy had hired their own legal teams, preparing to defend themselves personally if things went to trial. ABC still hadn't issued an apology, but with the lawsuit moving forward, they were running out of options. Advertisers were getting nervous, sponsors were watching closely, and internal morale had started to crack. One final question remains. Will The View be forced to change forever? Or will it collapse under the weight of its own unchecked ego? Let us know where you stand. Was Carrie Underwood right to sue? Should Sonny and Joy face accountability for their words? Is the media going too far, or is this just the cost of public life? Drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe for updates, and make sure to hit that like button. This battle is far from over, and we'll be right here, bringing you every twist, turn, and takedown as it happens.